Welcome to In the Kitchen. I'm Lenore Pinello, and today we're going to make a very simple dessert, my Pistachio Biscotti. And Biscotti means twice baked. I actually bake them 3 times, and I'll show you that when we get to the baking part. But we're going to start off with no fancy equipment. We're going to stir it all by hand. We're going to start off with the wet ingredients. We're going to use a stick or a 1/4 pound of butter, room temperature. You could leave it out overnight if you know you're going to make these the next day, or kind of warm it up in the microwave, but you don't want it to be melted because melted changes the consistency of this product. Okay, so we're going to take the stick of butter, 3/4 cup of sugar, cream that together just by hand. It's going to come together very nicely because it is at room temperature. Beautiful. Okay. Into this mixture, we're going to put our 3 eggs into a separate bowl. Just in case you get a bad egg or a shell, it doesn't go into your finished product. So I'm going to break 3 eggs. Beautiful. Large is generally what you use for baking, so these are 3 large eggs. Right into the wet mixture. Cream that up. Okay, and we're going to put the rest of our wet. This will give the flavor to the biscotti, and these are extracts, and I like to use the organic extract. This is almond, 1 teaspoon. And this is pure vanilla. If you were making an anise flavored kind of an anisette toast, you would just make the same recipe, just substitute the anise extract or anisette in the recipe. Okay, it's coming together. It's not going to be totally together because we want to mix this in with the dry. Okay, our dry ingredients: 2½ cups of flour, some salt, I think it's a ½ teaspoon, baking powder right in, and into that I'm going to put the wet. Get it all going together. And this is going to form our dough. Okay, it's coming together nicely. The last thing we need to do is to chop our pistachio. Okay, beautiful. All right, we're going to fold that right into our dough. And if some of them stay a little whole, that's okay. Here's the point where we're going to take it out. Start working it with my hands. Okay, just so it comes together. Take a little flour, put that on the counter. And get our dough together, but just enough so that it all looks like every ingredient is incorporated into the dough. And then we're going to pull our dough out, put it right on this floured counter. It's great to have marble or granite countertop because it's really fabulous for baking. It stays cool, it doesn't melt the butter. I'm going to cut this in half and make 2 little, like baguette type of, the size of a small baguette. And then we're going to bake it once, get it to the right point, and probably 20 minutes in the oven, and then take it out, slice it, and bake it again and again. Okay, right onto a parchment lined sheet pan. I love the parchment lined sheet pan because it really, and once again, this is a very forgiving, doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be sliced. Pick it up, right onto the pan, pat it down. Final step, a little cinnamon sugar. It's just sugar and cinnamon, equal parts, mixed together, and I'm going to sprinkle it. It's going to give it a great flavor, and the aroma in the kitchen is going to be spectacular. To 350-degree oven on the center rack. Put them in there. I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. Okay, oh, perfect. I'm going to take that out. That's the first step. As soon as they're cool enough to handle, I'm going to roll it off of the pan, slice it on a little bit of an angle depending on how big you want them to be. Okay, and these little ends are for the baker. Back into the oven for 8 minutes. Just as long as they start to get a little crispy, and then we're going to flip them for their cooking on the other side. Back into the oven again for 5 more minutes, and then they'll be perfect. Another thing I'm looking for is the dryness now, because they look the right color, golden but not too dark. Oh, beautiful, dry, perfect. Okay, I'm going to take some confectioner's sugar, now that they're cool, and just lightly dust them. There you go. Beautiful. I've got a great cup of espresso. I've got the best biscotti. It's great. Buon appetito.